All right. Welcome back to Rebel Ants Radio. This is the podcast for the Rebel Ants NFT project, where we are showcasing our journey as we launch this project as the small guys with no backing behind us, just myself and my co-pilot here, Miguel. Miguel, how are you? What's going on? How was your week?
It was good. How was yours?
It was good. I'm adjusting to the daylight saving. I think this might be the last time that it gets changed. So we'll get through this one.
I'm pretty sleepy today.
All right. Well, you better spike your drink with something so that you can make it through the next 30, 45 minutes with me.
Yeah, I'll make it.
Yeah. So thanks for joining in. Thanks for watching. We are the Rebel Ants NFT project. You can visit us at rebelants.io. You can follow us on Twitter at Rebel Ants, at Rebel Ants Radio. You can find us on Instagram at @RebelAnts_NFT. You can find us on TikTok at Rebel Ants NFT. Is that right, Miguel?
It's at Rebel Ants NFT.
At Rebel Ants NFT. Yeah. All right. Good. Those are all the socials. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Send in any questions. We are happy to answer them. Our goal here is to be as transparent as possible through this whole process of launching an NFT project, all the ups and downs, the things that work, the failures, and the things we learn along the way. So our commitment is to share that with our community here. So I think the biggest thing for us this week, Miguel, was that the presale went live, right? So from your perspective, how did that go?
I think it went pretty well. I mean, it's going slowly but surely, right? So people still got to get to know us. They got to get to trust us, and they got to see what our project is all about, and hopefully go out there and mint our ants. But I think we're moving slowly but surely pretty well. So it's going good.
Yeah, I didn't have very high expectations just because, like you said, people, we're not really a big name out there yet. We're not a household name. And it's just been you and I behind the wheel here, just trying to get our name out there, interacting on Twitter, interacting on Discord, just trying to connect with other members of the community here. So I think what I've realized from the presale was, we made it so you had to join the whitelist first before you can mint for the presale price of 0.03 ETH. But I just think that extra step creates a little bit of friction for somebody who maybe just stumbles upon us, thinks, all right, let me mint, but then you're like, oh, wait, I got to go do this thing and then this thing and then this thing first. So I think as we open up to the general public sale and there is no whitelist anymore, hopefully we get a little more traction on that. And, looking at a lot of our metrics, they're all going in the right way, whether it's social media followers, social media views, YouTube views, it's all going in the right direction. So hopefully we'll be able to build some traction on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was a bit confusing too. Plus, we were still learning what to do with Bueno, right? So we ended up putting the email thing later on. So a lot of people were confused with that. So we ended up putting on our Discord a ticket thing, so ticket bot, so that they're able to go in there and kind of tell us if they were able to put their email so that we're able to send them that gift box. So if you're listening, please make sure you go to Twitter or go to Discord and let us know if you put in your Ether wallet and weren't able to put your email address. If you're one of those people out there, please reach out to us. Let us know. Give us your email so that we can reach out to you and send out that gift box to you guys so that you guys can have that little prize that we're giving away.
Yeah, so our whitelist has about 40 something names on there, and we've had 10 Rebel Ants minted so far. I think one was me, maybe one was you. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and what was your experience like doing that? From logging onto the website and then minting it. How did you think that experience was?
For someone who doesn't know NFTs, I think it'll be something difficult for them to do, because I ran into a lot of people that were like, well, how do I do it? And then, I kind of explained it to them, and it was like I was explaining gibberish to them. They didn't know unless I showed them exactly what it was. So I think that what we should do is maybe have some sort of video where it shows how to actually do it, so that other people can kind of learn how to do it.
Yeah,
I think that would be. And then the other problem was that a lot of people were using Coinbase Wallet, and they didn't know that it would give them 7 days for verification. Like they had to enter in their license and stuff. So I was getting a lot of information on people that couldn't do it because they have to wait to 7 days, right? So I think that we have some issues there with that. So I was thinking about also expanding the pre-mint for those people that reached out to us and
Yeah.
told us like, hey, I really can't do it because Coinbase has me on hold for 7 days, has me hostage.
Okay.
They did it to you.
Yeah, my funds were frozen for I think 3 months, maybe 90 days.
For no reason.
No reason at all. It was extremely frustrating. I really wanted to be able to mint a Rebel Ant the day we went live on the 31st, but I had to wait until the 4th when my funds were freed up, and I was happy to mint one that morning. So happy to have done it myself and kind of gone through that experience. So I think you're right. Maybe making an explainer video would be really helpful. I think we should expand the pre-sale window. We originally said 1 week, right? So it would have been the 31st through, I guess, this Monday, right? Tomorrow. So what do you think? Do we do it 1 more week?
Yeah, I think it'll be beneficial for us to do it 1 more week because there is a lot of people just on hold. So I really want them to get that experience of doing the pre-mint, because that's also a learning experience for some people that don't know, right? So I think that everybody who I interacted with that wanted to do it never dealt with NFTs or crypto. So I think that they're now getting their hands, their feet wet on what this is. So I kind of like it. And a lot of people, the feedback is good. They're like, oh, so I could do this too once I do this. So, I think we're bringing some people into the space, which is great. It's really what I wanted. So some good stuff there.
Yeah, my brother had the exact same problem. He had some funds in Coinbase, but hadn't joined up for a whitelist ever before and hadn't minted before. And so still trying to work through that. But yeah, I think you're right. As a first-time project for some people getting involved, there's a lot of steps and a lot of confusion. So I remember I felt the same way the first time I tried to buy anything from OpenSea. I'm like just clicking along, hoping everything is okay. And it's like, oh, you got to pay for the first time you do this and then pay for the first time you do that. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And this is when gas fees were like $100, per transaction.
Jesus.
So I was buying projects at much higher rates than they are now, obviously, right? That's across the board. But I was like, all right, well, maybe a $300 NFT with only $80 of gas fees is like a win, right? So I was just kind of refreshing $70, $80, $90. That was like my line.
Have you ever been there for hours just clicking refreshing to see when the gas fees go down?
Yeah. I was like, I'm definitely not paying to expedite this, this sale. I don't need to speed it up. I want to slow it down, whatever I can do to cut some money from $100.
Yeah, 100%. I remember I bought a lot of those with those huge gas fees that I just sat there for days trying to figure out if it was going to go down or not. Some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
but it's getting a lot better. So
yeah, it is. It is much better now. So I think we're in a good spot there.
Hey, so how do I sound? Because I had this little echo behind me the past couple of episodes, but I soundproof the room a little bit. So I bought a couple of things from Amazon, trying to patch up the room to see if the echo goes away.
I think it sounds more crisp and more. I think there's still a little bit of echo, so I think it's better, but there's a little bit of echo, and I think you probably just need to hang some things on the wall behind you as well. So the soundproofing you got, what was that? How did you know what to get?
It was just some panels. I just kind of YouTube a couple of things that you can do. So I ordered like some panels from Amazon. They actually look pretty cool in the room. So they're like in front of me, in front of the computer.
Maybe you can post that picture. You sent me a picture of it. Maybe you can post
it. Yeah, we could definitely do that so people know exactly what I got. I mean, it does sound better. I tested out a couple of times. So hopefully for you guys out there listening, I sound a lot better than the couple of past episodes.
Yeah, it's definitely better. I can tell the difference on my end here. So I think everyone will have a more enjoyable listening experience listening to the smooth sounds of Miguel.
Hey, so talk to me about this Trello thing that you want us to use.
Oh, Trello is my favorite, one of my favorite tools. It's like an organizational tool that I started using at work a number of years ago. And you could use it for, something as small as a checklist, for grocery shopping or anything to manage entire projects. It's just kind of based on this idea of having a list with cards inside of the list, and then you can kind of move them around. So maybe they're moving through a progression of, start, in progress, finish, or just different topics, right? So you and I were trying to figure out a way to put our topics together for each episode as they come up through the week. What do we want to talk about, whether it's a news article or things that we're doing with the project. So we originally using a Google Doc, but I didn't love that. It's just kind of hard to cross things off of there or move things out of the way that you're done talking or add future topics. So of course, my brain always goes back to, Trello would be a good tool for this. So I appreciate you playing along. And right now we just have a list set up for the topics we have here. In fact, I will share my screen and just to kind of show what we were starting with already. So looking over here, let's get rid of our overlay here. And you can just see we have a list here. This list is just dated for this show here. We have a list for next week, just in case there's anything there. And then just big topics that we want to talk about in the future. And then maybe just a place to put some resources. But inside of each card, you can put lots of information like, talking points, the links, images, whatever it is. So it's just a good spot to put and store information. The app for Trello on your phone and on the desktop is really good. So it's super easy to get things in there. Whereas using Google Docs is really not easy to add an item off the top of your head. You got to, go into Google Drive or go into the app, and then you got to, find that item and then hit edit and then go to the bottom of the list, whatever it is, right? So there's a lot of great things you can do with Trello. So I am confident you will find that this is a superior way of doing it over over what we were going to use before. So
yeah, you were really mad last week.
Huh?
You were really mad last week saying, how do I delete this thing? It's like, why can't I just delete it?
Yeah. Trello is going to solve all of our problems. I can tell. So I've got Trello up on my iPad next to me, just kind of keeping a look at our topics. So as we, eliminate topics, or maybe there's a topic we don't get to this week, we can move it into the next episode and just kind of, track things that way. But it's just easier to organize ourselves, and you'll see. A couple episodes from now, I'll check in with you, and you'll be like, yeah, Trello was the right way to do this. So.
No, I like it. I like it. I mean, I put a lot of information down, so.
Yeah,
I just got to get used to it.
Yeah.
Good. So let's talk about. So today on Twitter, there was a lot going on, right?
Yeah.
Elon's takeover and a bunch of other stuff going on Twitter. So I found out that you're able to do the tip wallet. So I put the tip wallet in our page, which is pretty cool and easy. You just got to put in your Ether wallet number, and then it creates that little tip logo on the top of your Twitter page. So if anybody wants to tip us, go to Twitter and send us some ETH, some tip.
Did we get anything yet?
No. Of course not.
Well, we have one person watching right now, so I assume they're going to go over and tip us on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of views on YouTube afterwards. Not on the live, but I think afterwards we've gotten a lot of traffic. So that's good. That's very good, actually.
Yeah, I think there's ways we can optimize, the algorithm, right? Using kind of learning what hashtags work and what description works. I know that YouTube really pushes videos that are more than 10 minutes long, right? Because they want people just watching longer. So, our last couple of videos had been, I think, at least 40 minutes. So I think we're doing a couple of things right already. We've got a pretty lengthy description that goes into each video. And we posted a short of you drawing the graffiti, the Rebel Ant doing the graffiti, which is the background of this. And that got 100 views, I think, within a day, maybe. And we put some hashtags into that title. So that might be another good way for us to get eyes on the project.
Yeah, that happened on TikTok too. I think people really like the artwork when it's being created. I think in one of those we got almost 180 views in like a day and a half. Which is pretty cool to see, and some good feedback too.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, luckily the art looks good, so thank you for that. And it's such a good platform to showcase those drawings and those clips for the time lapse of that. So head over to TikTok if you're not already following us. Head over to Rebel Ants Radio on YouTube if you're not already there, since this show is also on Spotify. So go check us out on all the socials and kind of give us a like and share it with your friends as well. You also shared with me today that you signed us up for Twitter Blue. Tell me again what that is. Yeah,
so I signed up for Twitter Blue. Obviously, we're going to have to talk about Elon a little bit here. So he's making Twitter Blue $8, which everybody was freaking out about on Twitter, obviously, and it was mostly people with the check mark already that were freaking out about it. The people that are, rich with money that don't want to pay the $8 that they use every single day on their venti latte, whatever coffee they're drinking in the mornings.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that post that Elon put up saying $8 for a latte that lasts you 30 minutes, but $8 for the Twitter Blue for 30 days. So it's not a bad point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think he's just trying to, he's trying to do a lot with Twitter. He wants to do the free speech thing. He also wants to incentivize creators, which I think it's a really good thing. And I really think he's trying to make Twitter like the next YouTube sort of kind of thing, but better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it can definitely compete with YouTube, I think, right? He's talking about increasing the creator benefits from a pay standpoint and making the platform more accessible for long form video. So look, I think we take for granted how free almost everything is that we use on a regular basis, right? Facebook is free, Instagram is free, Twitter is free, Gmail is free, right? We get a lot of free services. So I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with somebody trying to monetize that, especially if it's going to help the creators on the other end, right? So if we collectively are the ones creating the content that goes on there, it only makes sense that we are also the ones to benefit. I just want to bring up a comment here from Gina, who says, good idea to do a video to show how to do it. Going back to our topic earlier about how to mint, how to join the whitelist. So Gina, keep an eye out and subscribe to our channel so that you get notification when we do that.
Yeah, and I know he was also talking about, I don't think he said anything about it, but I think the Twitter buzz was that they were trying to figure out if he was going to incorporate crypto as a form of payment through Twitter. So I think obviously the favorite, was Doge, which is one of my favorites, by the way.
Yeah, I can tell.
Can you tell?
Yeah, we can tell.
So, I personally think that Doge and Bitcoin should be some of that form of payment, including ETH too. I think those three would be good.
Yeah, I can't imagine why there wouldn't be more than one option. Just given it's, you just flick the switch and now you're doing all of it. So a lot of funnel options.
Yeah.
I think. And, like a lot of people have the corners that they stand in, right? They have their team. So if somebody's team ETH or team Doge, let them do what they want for that.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Doge. I've been into Doge for a very long time, since 2014, right? I do hold Doge, a lot of Doge. And honestly, the reason why I like Doge is because, in all honesty, it was one of the first cryptos that really got me to learn about cryptos. And on Twitter too, I was reading all the stuff about Doge and all the memes and stuff. So it was good. It made me laugh, and I thought it was funny, so I liked it. It was my first really crypto that got my feet wet, besides Bitcoin, right? So that's part of the reason why I love Doge. It's going to be embedded in me for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah. You never forget your first Doge, right?
Yeah.
Once upon a time, back before all the prices blew up on everything, this is, the mid 2000s. I remember there was some random crypto exchange site that doesn't even exist anymore. It went under, lots of lawsuits around it. But I remember converting like a quarter of a Bitcoin into Doge and just thinking, oh, that was a lot of Doge that I had at that point, right? Because it was still like 0.0000 something, whatever it was. And then all those wallets that I had on that site, disappeared when the site shut down. So I think a lot of crypto people who have been in the game for a long time all have that story of, if this one thing had been different, I would have really, made it big. So, yeah, I remember buying Doge a long time ago. I remember watching Homestar Runner, which is, I think that was the name of the show where that name even comes from, Dogecoin. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of the Doge. I'm a big fan of Ethereum, right? As powerful as it is, I know that a lot of the things we deal with now are more like layer 2 that sit on top of Ethereum. But I remember back in 2017, maybe sitting in like a doctor's office, and there was a magazine there, and like Vitalik was on the cover, and it was talking about like, all these powerful things that Ethereum can do that it just wasn't being done in the crypto space yet. And so it's cool to see how far we've come. It's also cool to have a face to the name, right? Bitcoin we don't know where it came from, right? We just kind of all take it for granted now. And thanks Satoshi, whoever you or they are. But Vitalik is a real person, and obviously incredibly talented and a genius at this sort of thing. So it's nice to have a face to go along with it. So I think that's why.
And he's funny.
Yeah, he is. He's got a sense of humor.
Yeah, and his Doge fan.
Yeah. So I think Ethereum has a really interesting history, and there's some really good podcasts on just the history of it. So I'll put some links in the show notes. That way, if anyone wants to kind of go back in time and kind of see how it got to where we are today, you can learn a lot about that.
Yeah, man. So I just think Doge was one of those things that you would sit here for hours just looking at Twitter, looking at memes and just laughing your ass off, pretty much. You know what I mean? So it's very dear to me. So.
Yeah, it's certainly one of the more playful communities online. And really, that's how it seems like that's how Elon got into it, right? With just some crazy memes as well.
Yeah. Yep. So moving on, next week, Sunday, we are going to have our very first guest, which is Gavin from Average Pops. I think he's one of the co-founders. He'll be with us next week, Sunday. We're not sure of the time frame yet. Because he's in a different time zone than we are, but I think it'll be interesting to see how he started his Average Bob NFT with his co-founders and his team, and I think he'll be giving us some good background to how he started, his art, and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that. He will be our very first guest, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool for us to have a guest and kind of see what that experience is like, and learn from that. As I think we'll try and do some planning ahead of time, right? Kind of come up with some questions, help make that a little smoother. But it'll be good for us to just have a third person on and see how that goes. How did you meet Gavin? Because I remember you just telling me, hey, this guy is doing this project. How did you get introduced to him?
So I think it was when we first started the Discord. I think he was one of the first people, if not the first person, who actually spoke to us on the Discord, trying to be our friend. He was talking about his NFT and the stuff that he was doing. And I think we just kind of kept following each other on Twitter, on Discord, and seeing how both our communities kind of started growing together. I know his community is growing pretty good on Discord and on Twitter. So I think he's going to have some pretty good success. So I'm really looking forward to talking to him and seeing what his mentality was. Was it similar to us? Was it different? What was the whole background? And hopefully this is something that I want to do continuously and see if we could get some more artists to kind of showcase their NFT and how they got started and their background. So this is what this is all about. So hopefully we'll get there. So very exciting stuff. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to hear from him. I think he's been at right around the same spot as we have been as in terms of a project moving forward. So kind of interesting to see what we've done that's similar and, some different routes that we've taken to accomplish certain things. I think they used Bueno as well, right? They were using Bueno to launch the NFT.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's probably where we met, was in the Bueno Discord. I think I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, I think you are right. I think so. So, all right, a couple of other interesting things going on in the news here. What's top of your mind?
So Apple is making any NFT purchases go through the Apple payment method and taking 30% of it. So that I thought that was interesting. So in one of the news articles, it said, and I'll read it, quoting, Apple has updated guidelines for its apps, which would now see the company take 30% of all NFT sales on its platform. As spotted by mobilegamer.biz, Apple's new guidelines will allow NFTs to be sold, but only using in-app purchases, which would also require sellers to provide Apple with their 30% cut of the sale. So I thought that was pretty steep from Apple and ballsy. I mean, they're supposed to be about the people, right? So I guess they're more about Apple profits.
Yeah, definitely more about the money. What's an example you see of this even getting used? You think just by default, anyone who's like, if there was an OpenSea app, then they would take money from that?
I think so. I mean, I'm not sure 100% how it works, but I think what it is through, how you sometimes have an app and you do an in-app purchase?
Yeah.
So it would be the same thing, but for an NFT. So if you're buying an NFT through Apple app, uh, they'll get 30% cut of whatever that is, whatever
Yeah.
that NFT price is.
Yeah. I mean, I think about the Coinbase wallet, right? You can buy NFTs through Coinbase. So I just wonder if just something as even as direct as that, where you're in Coinbase's app buying NFTs through their platform, their marketplace, if that counts, or if it's maybe just a different setup than what we've kind of already seen before.
Yeah, I just don't see how. I mean, at some point or another, I'm assuming they're going to have to stash some crypto, right? Because if they're doing in-app purchases and the purchases are done through like ETH or whatever Polygon or whatever crypto, they're going to have some sort of exchange, right? Or who knows?
Yeah, I think what worries me also is, where's that 30% coming from? Is it coming out of the creator's pocket? Who's paying for that, right? I doubt the service that you're buying the NFT on is going to just front the 30%. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. And I know Instagram is moving in that direction as well, right? Of selling NFTs and letting you even mint NFTs through the app, which I think is a huge step. I think it is probably one of the more forward things coming from Meta in terms of Mark Zuckerberg's vision of just the metaverse, and just kind of getting Instagram integrated with NFTs so cohesively, where you can actually mint right on the app.
Yeah, I think that he's really trying to move into the crypto space. Obviously, NFTs being the number one thing.
Yeah.
And he really wants creators to kind of sell. I think he just wants to control everything within the app, right? So
yeah. Just wants to control it all.
I mean, yeah, I think that once that goes live, it'll be interesting to see how that's going to affect like OpenSea and everybody else. So it'll be really interesting to see. I mean, I think it's on the Polygon network. I don't think it's on the ETH. So it'll be really interesting to see how that kind of takes off and shapes out.
Yeah, I imagine it being even more accessible to just mint or to create something that then gets minted, right? Especially one of ones. If you're just an artist with just a one-off image, it'd be a pretty good spot to just allow somebody to mint right off of Instagram, right? You post the picture and now say, hey, you can buy this right here. Essentially, you can own this image if you just mint from there. So I hope that it makes it again even easier for someone who's already not in the space to start to learn how to acquire. And I'd be interested to see if people start just moving their entire projects to be focused on launching from Instagram, if it's going to be that much easier, if there's less fees involved, whatever the process is going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
If it's another option for people to use, and that's great. I think the encouraging thing for me is that people are still, Mark Zuckerberg has faith in that the NFT world is not dying, despite it being the winter that we're in and the prices being as low as they are. But there's still a lot of volume. And if he's still investing money in a platform like Instagram to be more NFT friendly, then it gives me a lot of confidence that things are still going in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of companies out there that are now starting to accept crypto. There's a lot of people accepting NFTs for what they are. So there's a lot of buzz out there, even though we're still in this crypto winter, right? So I think the crypto space it's healthy. And I think it's moving in the right direction. I think we'll be fine in the next couple of years.
Definitely. We talked previously about all the big companies that are getting into the NFT space. And so sometimes the news that comes out is just that they're getting into the space, right? You don't see what the actual product is yet. So I think as those products come out and come to life, it'll, again, keep the buzz going for this type of product as an NFT. So good.
Yeah.
So we're in the right spot. We're not late. We're still early, I think. And there's definitely
very
a lot
early
for us.
Yeah. So today I also read an article on OpenSea about them launching a tool for an on-chain enforcement of creator fees. So we got to see how that plans out. I mean, I think I kind of feel on the fence on both sides. So this is what they said, and I'll read it. While we believe creator fees without on-chain enforcement are going away, we strongly believe that creator fees as a broad concept are not. Creator fees are an important innovation of Web3 that help creators monetize their work in a more effective way. But marketplaces should not enforce business models for creators. Creators should have independent control. We hope that this is the first step in the right direction. So I think that OpenSea is trying to kind of do the right thing. I don't know if their messaging it's 100% there, but I guess this has to take shape and see how it pans out at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yes, we have a comment here from our friend Universal. He says, "What up, my fam?" So Universal, how do you feel about creator fees being optional on OpenSea? Would you bypass the creator fee? Would you do whatever the default is? Interested to hear what other people's thoughts are on that. That's really what they're saying, right, Miguel? That we could say, hey, for Rebel Ants, the creator fee is 5%, and it's optional, right? That's what.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's what it is. I mean, the message is not 100% clear, but I think they said something on Twitter and then they posted something on their page. So we just got to wait and see what happens. I think that went live yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, or it's going to go live, and I think on the 8th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, of course, as somebody who's buying, if the price can be lower, then great. But or someone who's selling, right, you want more revenue. But I think it's an important part of the ecosystem for sure. So
yeah, I think what happened,
options, but do the right thing.
Yeah, I think what happened was that a lot of people were complaining about OpenSea being too expensive and taking too much royalties. So we'll see what happens in the future. I mean, anything that's about and for the creator, I think would be the best thing for OpenSea to do. I think that they need to be more open to that.
Yeah, there's also other marketplaces popping up, right? So I think they do need to stay competitive and they need to be flexible. And so I don't know if this is an advantage for them or a disadvantage if they're going to draw this line and say it is mandatory. So we'll see what they do or what they feel is the right move to keep a stronghold as, the biggest marketplace for NFTs.
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, with Instagram and all these other places trying to do NFTs too, I mean, how is that going to affect OpenSea? Are they going to be still the biggest platform out there, or is it going to be taken over by someone else? And Instagram is a really big platform, so we got to see how that looks later on.
Yeah, you're talking, millions and millions and millions more on Instagram than OpenSea. So if you have a more direct line to your audience on Instagram, then a lot of those transactions are going to be diverted away from OpenSea and just happening right in app. And maybe Apple's taking 30% of that, and maybe that's part of the problem, right? Maybe people are going to steer away from doing it in app if Apple is taking a percentage of that.
Yeah, I mean, the Apple thing is very interesting. I mean, I think 30% is a lot. It's just a lot. I don't think it's a fair trade.
Yeah, I agree.
What are we giving the creators? You know what I mean?
Exactly, right. What's trickling down, and with prices as low as they are for Ethereum right now, and the prices as low as they are on NFT projects, it's really not that much, right? Our pre-sale mint of 0.03. I mean, what does that even equal? It's like $40 or something, right, at the time.
Yeah, it's like $45.
Yeah, and a percentage of that goes back to Bueno because they are the ones who are doing the minting, right? And then a percentage of that is going to, if it's any transactions on OpenSea, they take a piece of that as well, right?
Yeah, and also don't forget that we're also donating to One Tree Planted too from that. So
yeah, we should figure out when we're going to do that. I think maybe not every single sale, but maybe every 20 sales, every 50 sales, whatever it is. So hopefully we'll be in that situation where we're like, all right, we hit 50 sales. Let's drop another $50 for trees.
Yeah, I think that also we should do once we open the page, we should be able to do a tracker of how many trees we've planted. I think that'll be cool to see.
Yeah, you're very right on that. So that'll be good. Our friend Universal said he had to go, but he said he will watch the full episode tonight, which I think is the right mentality. So everyone should watch the full episode, right? Follow us on all the socials, but head over to YouTube, like and subscribe to Rebel Ants Radio, and you get to see our posts and our shorts of the drawing time lapses. So lots of good things coming up over there. What else you got, Miguel? What else is on the list for tonight?
I think we pretty much cover everything on the list today. So I think we're looking forward to next week and getting with Gavin from Average Pops, and hopefully we could get some insights to his project.
Yeah, I'm excited, and hopefully by our next episode, we're open to the public sale already, right? Not on the whitelists anymore. So just a reminder, if you sign up for the whitelist and then mint, if you give us your contact information, we'll be able to coordinate sending you a free gift box in real life, and you get a free extra Rebel Ant that we will airdrop to you in the very near future. So get on that now with a reduced price of 0.03. Otherwise, once it goes to the general sale, it'll go to 0.05. So get in while you can. You can get up to 5, I think, in the pre-sale. So do it while you can. That's my financial advice to you. There you go. All right, I think that wraps up episode 3 for us. I'm glad we've been consistent enough to get 3 episodes in 3 weeks. I think we're doing what we said we were going to do. So again, hit us up on YouTube at Rebel Ants Radio. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram at Rebel Ants _NFT. Follow us on TikTok at Rebel Ants NFT. And again, all of our links are over at the link tree for Rebel Ants. So our website, rebelants.io, is the best place to get all that information. Join the whitelist, do your minting there, contact, see what's going on. And we hope to hear from you. All right, Miguel. I will.
All right.
Soon. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a good night.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
All right. Bye.